You remember that video? Of course, yes. Our GPA series. The first video was on the Ghana Communication Technology University, GPA, FGPA, and then CGPA. And then second one was on the University of Ghana, CGPA, FGPA, and then the GPA. If this is your first time visiting our channel, you are welcome to A Softek IT Consult. Please subscribe to our channel, leave a like, and then leave a comment, and then share as well to save a life. In this video, we are going to work on the third university, that is going to be the University of Cape Coast, and I know you are going to enjoy this video. Stay with us, stay with me. Let's get started.
A Softek IT Consult.
Hello everyone, welcome back to our YouTube channel. We hope you enjoyed our previous lessons and our previous videos. In this very video, we are going to hop on to the GPA, or the grading system of the University of Cape Coast. In this tutorial, whether you are in level 100 or preparing to graduate, this video will save your life. So grab a pen and let's go. In the next few minutes, we are going to talk about GPA, CGPA, FGPA, degree classification, and some serious hacks to stay on top of your game. Let's get started. Before we start, I always want us to be taking the preamble. When you go to every university, there are policies that govern the university. When you go to the UCC, University of Cape Coast, they work with the 60-40, and then they work with the GPA instead of the CWA. So at the University of Cape Coast, as you can see, the university has a policy for continuous assessment that is for 40% in year, and then end of semester examination is 60% for student. So it means that if you're a student of the University of Cape Coast, you are thereby required to participate in class assignment, home assignment, mid-semester examination, class attendance, etc., which contribute to what we call the continuous assessment. And then the other side, which is the 60%, is for the end of semester examination, which means the terminal, as we call it, or semester examination, final examination. Okay, so without much ado, I would like us to dive into this, and let's start to see how the grading system is structured. Let's see. Okay, so at the University of Cape Coast, this is how the grading system is structured. So we have the raw score, we have the grade, we have the grade points, we have the interpretation. Okay, so seeing this, we'll be going to explain all of these. We will explain all of these. We are going to explain all of these as well. Okay, so let's take this first. Okay, look at this. When you take the raw scores, we have 80 to 100, which is an A. We have 75 to 79, which is a B plus. 70 to 74, which is a B, and then 65 to 69, which is a C plus. 60 to 64, which is a C. 55 to 59, which is a D plus. 50 to 54, which is a D, and then 50 is a E, which means there is nothing like F in the UCC grading system, which means that at the moment you get 50 or below 50, it is a fail automatically. It is a fail. There is no F. So at the moment you see E on your result, E on your transcript, E in your student information portal, automatically it is a fail. Okay, so 80 to 100 is an A for you, and then 80 to 100 is an A. 75 to 79 is a B. All right, so let's look at this. Grade point, we have 4.0. What does this mean? Is this the GPA? Oh, no, 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 no. That can be. Grade point is just a value. Okay, it is just what? A value that is to ascertain or point out that getting an A is going to ensure or give a surety that you are having a particular value of 4. These are constant. Remember, these values, they are constant. Okay, they are constant that are directly proportional to the raw score or to the grade. So immediately or at the moment, every student, if you are to get an A, you'll be getting a grade point of 4. The reason why it is 4 is this way. The organizational policy works on GPA, and then the GPA scale that the university uses is the 4.0 scale. There is nothing like 5.0 or 3.0, it is 4.0. The reason why you see their A as or at the 4.0. Okay, so if a student should be getting an A in a course, okay, the grade point, that is a constant allocated, okay, for A is 4.0. But is that the grade point total? No. In order for what? For a course to have the original grade point or the what? Or the actual grade point, the credit hour. You know, in the university, every course has credit hours. Okay, a course can have 2 credit hours, 3 credit hours, which I mean the number of hours the lecturer should spend in the class or the lecturer should use either for assignments, assessment, teaching, lecturing, anything. That should be so a student can take a particular course which is 3 credit hours, meaning the course is going to only stay or be lectured for 3 hours. So assuming the course has 3 credit hours, okay, so if you want to find the actual grade point, you multiply the 3 credit hours by the grade point, which will give you the actual grade point, which is 12. So assuming the course is a 2 credit hours, you multiply by the grade point if only the student have an A in that course, and then this gives you an 8. So it's the same thing applies. Assuming the student get a B plus, that is 75 to 79, the students, we are going to multiply the credit hours of that particular course or the grade point, and then we'll get the actual grade point. Yes, so in here these are the interpretation. Getting an A 80 to 100 is excellent. Okay, so anytime what a student gets an A, it may be that the student have 80 to 100. Anytime the student gets a B plus, it is 75 to 79, which is very good. And then we have the good for B, and then average, fair, and then it goes on and on and on. Okay, so there is a reason why we had to understand these ones. Okay, we have to understand these ones. Sometimes on your transcript and in your student information portal, you may not have this additional information. So you should just know anytime that you have a B on your transcript or on your result, you know that B ranges from 70 to 74. Automatically you should know that you were having a range of 70 to 74. You could tell that the difference in the raw score, okay, apart from the A, okay, we have 4, okay, we have 4, okay, 4. The same applies to the grade point, that is 0.5. Okay, if you can see, the difference is 0.5, as you can see from here. 0.5 is the difference. 4.0, 3.5, 3.0, 2.5, 2.0, 1.5, 1.0, and then 0. So we can tell in here that the University of Cape Coast and the University of Ghana are using the same grading system. There is nothing different from the two institutions. The two universities are using the same grading system. So let's hop onto the next part. Okay, the next part, which is very important. The next part. Okay, so I have to explain and add these ones to it. Okay, at the moment you see an audit, okay, as a grade on your result, okay, it means that your result is going for assessment. Okay, it is going for assessment to verify whether it is genuine, whether it has been tampered with, somebody has swapped or changed the result, somebody has manipulated it. That is the audit. If it turns out to be incomplete, it means that turns out to be incomplete, it means that the student either participated only in the end of semester examination or only in the mid-semester examination. Okay, so this is either you do one and then you leave one. Okay, you didn't do continuous assessment but you did exams. That means you'll be having incomplete. So that is that for the University of Cape Coast when it comes to the grade and then the grade interpretation. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, the degree classification at the University of Cape Coast. Okay, these are their degree classification. Okay, getting a first class, okay, requires that the student get a CGPA, that is cumulative grade point average. Okay, I'm going to explain that, of 3.6 to 4.0. Now, what is the cumulative grade point average? Okay, before I'm going to explain that, I'm going to explain what GPA is. So GPA, okay, it is a value or their point, okay, that shows the performance of a student within a semester. Okay, their point that has been accumulated, okay, in courses, okay, courses which shows the performance of a student within a semester. So if I should say cumulative grade point average, okay, that is not going to be a semester, it is going to be 2 or more semesters, which means we are adding 2 or more semesters together, and then that makes it cumulative. If it is a GPA, it is only one semester. So you can have what? A GPA of your semester. That is what? The GPA. But cumulative becomes what? 2 or more semesters becomes cumulative. Okay, but most of the times at the university level, when you start for the university, the first time or your first time, you be starting with a particular first semester. So that first semester is going to be the GPA and will be the same CGPA. But the moment you go to second semester, you go to level 200. Now we have what? Cumulative grade point average, which is what? Addition of other semesters adding up to form the CGPA. Okay, so CGPA simply means accumulation, okay, of 2 or more semesters. So in here, at the end of the whole 4 years at the university, in order for you to get a first class, you must fall within the ranges of 3.6, 4.0. If you don't understand this yet, we are going to do the calculations for us to understand what this means. So at the University of Cape Coast as well, second class upper is going to fall within 3.0 to 3.5, 3.0 to 3.5. Okay, and the next one, that is second class lower division, is going to fall within 2.5 to 2.9, 2.5 to 2.9. And then the next one is going to be third class division, that is 2.0 to 2.4, 2.0 to 2.4. And then the last one, okay, is the pass, that is 1.0 to 1.9. Okay, so looking at the degree classification, we could tell that the University of Cape Coast, okay, when it comes to the grading system or class designation or the awards, they are a little bit strict. Okay, just look at this: 3.6 to 4.0. Okay, it is the same as the University of Ghana, same as GCTU, same as other institutions. But when we come to the second class upper, that is where we see there is a difference, because 3.0 to 3.5. What about 3.51, 52, 53? Okay, maybe it may be 3.51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59. Who knows? But since it is written, okay, in their books, then that shows that what it is strict in here, meaning if you have what 3.54, 55, 56, they are still, or you are still in the second class upper division. Okay, and then 2.5 to 2.9 still same. So here we can conclude it is still same as the University of Ghana, it is still same as the Ghana Communication Technology University. Okay, so let's have a look at this. The next one, okay, you can see from here, I think is the same thing that we've explained. Now let's dive into the next one to see how we can calculate the GPA. Let's look at how we can calculate the GPA at the University of Cape Coast. Before that, I'm going to explain all of the elements that contribute to the GPA. Okay, so this is a dummy data, but it is an actual result, but it's a dummy data, it's a correct result. Okay, so the calculations are going to make sense, it is going to be correct, accurate. So let's look at this. We have course code in here, we have course title, we have credit hours, we have the grade, we have the grade point. Okay, what does all of this one means? So course code is a unique code that identifies a particular course. No two courses can have the same course code. Okay, there is no way EDT 101 will be given to another course. Okay, so these are unique identification for courses. All right, so when we go to the course title, as you can see, course title are just the names of the courses. Okay, names of the courses, as you can see from here. What about the credit hours? So credit hours, as I explained earlier, was the amount of time or the amount of hours that is to be spent or that is required to take, or that is required of the student or required of the lecturer to lecture or teach the students in class or ask them to do any assessment. So this particular course has 3 credit hours. This particular course has 3 credit hours. The same applies to this. So when the lecturer comes to the class, he is supposed to spend within 3 hours on the particular course. Okay, what about the grade? The grade is just the letter interpretation of what you are getting in your marks. So you can see that in this particular grading system or this particular result, we don't have anything like the marks. Can you see? We don't have anything. We don't have the marks. Yes, we don't have the marks. As you can see, we don't have the marks in here. But we learned and then we realized that if a student should get an A, okay, the student should get an A falls within 80 to 100. If you remember, an A was 80 to 100. The student should get a B plus. B plus what was 75 to 79. If you remember that, if a student should be getting a B was 70 to 74, and then it moves on and on and on. So here we can tell that this particular A, the student is having either 80, 90, 99 or 85 or any of the what of the ranges between 80 and then 100. That is what, or from 80 to 100, that is what the student attained. With a B plus, we can tell that the student is having a score from 75 to 79. That is what we are seeing from here. Then with the B, we are seeing that this particular student is falling within 70 to 74. What about the grade point? So the grade point is the what is allotted, allocated point, okay, to the grades or the letters. So immediately the student gets what? An A. We realize that the grade point was 4. Okay, B plus, the grade point was 3.5. If you remember, A becomes 4, A becomes 4, B becomes 3, if you remember. So I said, in order to get the actual grade points, okay, we multiply the grade point with the credit hours, and then we'll be getting 12, as you can see, 12 from here. So the credit hours here has been multiplied by the grade point of the university on a course. That is a constant. So here you realize that when we multiply 3 by 3, we are getting the 9. We multiply 3.5 by 3, we are getting a 10.5. So that is the explanation to the element. Now let's dive in here and calculate the GPA. Let's dive in here and calculate the GPA. In order for you to calculate the GPA, okay, the formula for calculating the GPA is this. Okay, so GPA is equal to, so GPA is just the semester. It's equal to the sum of the grade points. Okay, so let's say this is what? Sum of what? Of the grade point divided by sum of the credit hours. Okay. Yeah. So let's take this. Let's see. So let's add the grade point together. 12. We are seeing a 10.5. And then plus 12 plus 12 again plus 9. Okay, so adding all of these, what do you think we'll be getting from here? Let's add all of these and let's see what we'll be getting from there. So let me add up with my calculator. I think we'll be getting 55.5 if I'm right. 55.5. Yes. And what about the credit hours? So this is the grade point. So GPT grade point. It's about the credit hours. When we add all of them, 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. Okay, that is 15 if I'm right. Yes. So 15, that is 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. That is 15. So let's divide. So 55.5 divided by 15. That is going to give us 3.85. Yes, if you key in with your calculator. So therefore, this becomes the GPA of this particular semester. So this semester, the student had a GPA of 3.85. So assuming you are starting your this is the first time you enter the university, the GPA will also become what we call your CGPA, because that is the only thing you've done so far. Okay. But if we want to calculate CGPA, maybe in successive semester that is coming. So assuming you are a student and you've taken more than one semester, then we can calculate your CGPA. Okay. So it is the same thing that we'll do in here. We'll calculate the GPA for this particular semester. Okay. So GPA for this particular semester with the grade point total, and then we divide it by all of these. Okay. So remember that we had 55.5 divided by 15, giving us 3. I think 3.7. Sorry, 3.7. Okay, not 3.85, 3.7 when we divided. Let me see. I did it off it, the first one. 15. Yes, 3.7. So let's do same for this. So this is 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 12 plus 12 plus 12 plus 12 plus 12 plus 12, which is going to be 60. And then the credit hours. Okay, that is 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3, which is also going to be 15. Okay, so with this is the grade point total. And then this is the credit hours. So GPA is equal to 60 divided by 15, which is going to be 4.0. which means this particular semester, the performance of the student was distinction, that is 4.0. Okay, so that is the performance of the student in that particular semester. But as we are saying, we want to calculate the CGPA. Okay, so the CGPA is going to be CGPA is going to be CGPA is going to be the grade point total, okay, of the two. So 55.5 plus the grade point total of the second semester, 60, divided by the credit hours of the two. This was 15. This was also 15. If we should add this, what are we getting? 55.5 plus 60. This is 15. Yeah, so we are getting what? 3.85. And as you can see from here, we have what? CGPA. Right, yes, CGPA. So that is that when it comes to the GPA and then CGPA at the University of Cape Coast. What about the FGPA? FGPA is what? It's quite simple. At the University of Cape Coast, it is not complicated, or it is not having any special kind of calculation like the University of Ghana. Okay, or the FGPA is just accumulation of the 8 semesters. Remember, when you are reading a degree or a bachelor's at the University of Cape Coast, it is going to take you 4 years. Okay, so within the particular 4 years, you'll be having level 100, level 200, level 300, level 400. Okay, so with this, remember, you have first and second semester. First and second semester. First and second semester. So, and then the last one, first and second semester. Okay, so with these ones, we are going to calculate the GPA for all of them. GPA needs to be calculated for all of these particular semesters, and then we find for the what? So let me just put it this way. Okay, CGPA. Okay, CGPA of 8 semesters is equal to FGPA. Okay, so that is the final semester at the university. So when we cumulate, or when we find the CGPA of the whole 8 semesters, that becomes the FGPA at the University of Cape Coast. So this brings us to the end of this video. Please, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please click on the notification bell, like the video, and then leave a comment to bring you more exciting educational content. Till we meet again, bye bye.
For more information and also to reach us, please contact the numbers on the screen. You can also reach us through our social media handles displayed on the screen. Please do like, follow, and subscribe to our social media handles. A Softek IT Consult. Innovative solutions with the difference.